Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar video. This time out I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing two of the Avatar Wave 2 Funko Pops. I already did the Zhao and Ozai. Now I'm going to be doing Suki and Ty Lee. So yeah, these were definitely two of the more, I think, exciting characters, along with the big Aang Super Pop from this wave. Very excited to do it, and it's kind of fitting that also reviewing these two together. Characters who in the show are kind of like a little bit of rivals right towards the end, and then after the show they're both Kiyoshi warriors and are actually, friends, sisters because of their Kiyoshi warriors. And so they have rather unique and distinct skill sets within the show, but post-show in the comics, their skill sets are more overlapped now because they've both sort of learned from each other, where Suki has chi blocking now and Ty Lee is a Kiyoshi warrior, so knows, I suppose, some of the more standard martial arts stuff that they know. Really, really cool for characters who are already two of the top non-bender fighters in the franchise to then grow by learning from each other. Just really, really cool stuff. So I'll do Ty Lee first. So here we go. She's number 997, and there's nothing too much to say about the packaging here. You just get your standard sort of shot of her there, and that's really it. As we open up the box, we can see that once again, you do get the little Fire Nation kind of symbol hidden there, which is kind of interesting. But let's open it up. So there she is out of the box. Looks pretty nice. I appreciate the pose that they went for because she's one of those characters that, because she doesn't typically carry weapons in this iteration of her character, her skill is chi blocking and her acrobatics. The only thing they really could do with her to make her kind of distinct and interesting was to do a pose that demonstrated that. So, arms sort of splayed out there, really, really wide stance here. Definitely gets that kind of flexibility, acrobatics aspect across. And then the other key thing is the really long sort of braid here, which is a really nice kind of part here to get her hairstyle across quite nicely. So that's cool. Again, the head does rotate, so you can do slightly different angled poses if you so wish. I suppose if you do it the wrong way, just because the braid is a kind of heavy part, it doesn't work so much tilting the head this way, but it does actually work that way quite well. So that's really, really, really cool to see overall. Again, it's one of these things where, like, will they do a Kiyoshi warrior Ty Lee at some point down the line? That'd be nice to see. That feels like one of the few variants they could do for Ty Lee. And that feels like about all you'd really need to do is kind of those two, just to have everything Ty Lee related that you'd actually want. But yeah, they got, again, they nailed the colors on all of the Fire Nation characters and their outfits, whether it be military or more normal. Really well done there, and just they did everything they needed to I think get the character across when there is no bending effects here. There's no signature weapons or anything like that. So very, very nice rendition for Ty Lee here in Funko Pop form. And then for me, and I think for a lot of people, just because Suki has become such a popular character, especially now post Suki Alone, which is such an amazing comic, people have been waiting for Suki merchandise. Where's the first Suki action figure going to come? Suki finally gets a Funko Pop here, and especially with the combination of one Suki hype and then also Kiyoshi hype. So a Kiyoshi warrior is obviously a fantastic way to do things. So yeah, again, packaging is exactly what you'd expect. And then we'll see if they go for Earth Kingdom symbol here, and they do in fact do it there. So you can see it's more of the standard symbols. More or less the distinction here is that this is the symbol for the Earth Kingdom, whereas the typical Earth symbol is more of the sort of Earth bending symbol, is more of the distinction, I suppose, between them. But yeah, let's get Suki open here. This is definitely, like I said, Of the commons, probably my second most hyped one after the big Aang, which we'll get to in the next video. But here we go. So there she is, and she does come with a stand, which is interesting. I don't think any of the other ones came with a stand, because none of their feet actually had the little socket for the stand in it, so that was interesting. Okay, so here is Suki. Really, really nice. Again, a complete different color palette, because, you know, ultimately this wave is mostly Fire Nation characters in the commons, in that, like, you have Ty Lee, Zhao, and Ozai. So Suki, being from the Earth Kingdom, is the only real kind of color scheme kind of change, and it's a big change up as well. So lots of stuff like here with the greens being very nice here, the different shades of green on the different layers of her armor, of course. Then you have the kind of armor detailing itself there, the different kind of wrist sections. You can even see the shoulder sections just there. Yeah, you do get the head rotation for slightly different posing if you want. But yeah, I think that general pose there with the fan out in front, the foot out, is quite nice. But you can also do the more sideways pose there, because again, she's got the fan splayed out here also. Yeah, I suppose the only real detail perhaps that's maybe missing is that, you know, typically I suppose if she was going into battle here, she'd probably have the katana as well. But you know, they did a really good job here on, you know, getting those details across. And then especially with the head, where you have the headpiece, and of course Suki, as the leader of the Kiyoshi warriors, has the kind of leader's headpiece, of course. And then very significantly, you have the white face paint with the kind of red, though it's sort of, I'd say, orange red, or a very light red here, whereas I think it's more meant to be like proper red. Especially now that we know the origin story of the significance of one Kiyoshi's look, and why the Kiyoshi warriors also used that look of, like, the Flying Opera Company face paint style, of course, and the contrast between, you know, the white, the kind of purity of the white, and then the red showing the more, you know, we're a Dao Fei group side of things. So that's cool. The other significant stuff here, obviously, more so to Kiyoshi than Suki specifically, is obviously, you know, the fans. Why does Kiyoshi use fans? And it's because of her mother, who is an airbender, and stuff like that. The same goes for the headpiece. Kiyoshi wears one because it was her mother's headpiece, and so on. So just a lot of nice things coming across here, and I think they've executed this pretty well. I know I mentioned the kind of color of the eye kind of makeup here, but it's a subtle kind of color palette difference, and I think it's relatively okay in the sense that, like, obviously for Kiyoshi, I suppose maybe she wears a darker shade, but maybe the Kiyoshi warriors do a lighter shade. It's fine. It does make me really wish and hope that they do a Kiyoshi at some point, and I think the fact that they've done Suki so well here would make it, I'd say, relatively easy for them to do a full-on Avatar Kiyoshi if they need to, because I suppose as we go into, looking forward to maybe a Wave 3, we would be kind of looking out for, you know, what other characters are you going to do now that you've gone through two whole waves and have hit a lot of the characters. So there is Suki and Ty Lee, rivals towards the very end of the series, and then allies post-series. So very cool stuff there. So again, we'll just do a kind of look at the wave altogether. So there we go. Ozai, Zhao, Suki, and Ty Lee are the main characters from the wave, the sort of standard pops, and then I suppose some more kind of themed characters next to them. Of course, of the characters that we have, I suppose for Suki, Sokka is probably the most kind of significant of the other characters that we have. To a degree, I suppose, we bring Zuko in as well, because, the kind of Boiling Rock team, I suppose. Ty Lee was involved in the Boiling Rock. Ty Lee is, of course, at the when she's introduced, I suppose, as part of Azula's, Ozai's Angels, kind of a group with May. My May, I think, has shipped, and it should be here. I'm not sure, maybe towards the end of the week or maybe next week. There's a lot of delays with the post over here at the moment, so I'm not sure what's going on. But I should shortly have May to finish the set of 3 here. So that's cool. And then my Blue Spirit Zuko exclusive also should be shipping at some point as well soon. So, I do have some of the other ones kind of coming in as well. So that's cool. But yeah, that's this kind of a grouping of characters. But yeah, they all look really nice together. I really appreciate the collection growing, and even though when they were first announced, I didn't maybe have as much of an appreciation for the Funko Pop style, especially now that we're growing to have more and more Avatar Funkos. It's just a really cool way to have just a nice, relatively cheap, for the most part, apart from the exclusives, easy to get figures. I think they work really well, and I get more in a way out of these than some of the action figures. Like if you notice my more recent videos where I did the reviews on these smaller scale McFarlane figures, you'll probably sense that like there was a little bit of a slightly disappointed tone to things there, whereas the Funko Pops, they just very clearly are what they are, and I've grown to really appreciate this style, and just that you can have these really cool kind of character groupings when you bring everyone in, and it's starting to really kind of grow the amount of characters that we kind of have in play, and it's actually sort of cool getting to see the exclusives and so on. So I definitely like what we're doing here, and I suppose in the next video, because I'm only doing one pop, it is the Big Ang, but I will do a little bit of speculation about what I think we should see from a third wave of Avatar Funko Pops. But yeah, there's my thoughts on Suki and Ty Lee. In the comments, let me know what your thoughts were, but that has been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.